Hi everyone, this is Grace, and today I'll be walking you through how I made this beginner summer set. So let's go, party people. So we have 9 different designs in this set, all in circles, obviously. It is a beginner class. Go check out the link in my bio if you're not sure what I'm talking about. We love them. I don't know where my brain is today. And for this set, I was just going for like fun, summery, bright. Okay. This first cookie here is giving pure pool vibes because obviously it's supposed to be a pool. Now, I cannot take full credit for this design. This comes from Sweet Am's, Dear Amber, one of the OGs, one of the people I learned from 10 plus years ago. She came up with this design, speaking of that, like 10 years ago. And I kind of adapted it to be my own. She was cool with it. I asked her. So the first thing that's different is that it's all with royal icing. The way that Amber did it is she used layers of cookies, and I'm just doing all royal icing because that's my thing. I don't really do extra fancy stuff. So that first outside border situation, you let that crust over, and then we're going in with the center, the water portion, and we're going to add just a little bit of extra something something with these dots. And then, I mean, I'm piping them very systematically, but they certainly do not need to be piped systematically. Use that scribe, pull it through. Jiggle, I was going to say jiggle. No, just like I'm doing figure eights over and over again, swirls, whatever. You don't want to mix it like too much though, because you still want to have, at least in my opinion, some of the white peeking through. Let that crust over again. And then we're going to add, this is optional, but I just liked the addition of this white line around the outside of the pool. I don't know. I think it adds some nice like extra 3D dimension to it. But if you don't like it, you can leave it out. That's fine. So I would say that water has crusted for at least 30 to 45 minutes, if not more. This is my trick here to using a flood consistency to do lines like this. You just do every other one and you let them crust. You let them crust for like 10 to 15 minutes and then you come back and you do the remaining ones. That's the only like slightly annoying thing about this pool floaty, is that it is piped in 3 stages. Just takes more time. The way that Amber did that, she actually did the floaties as, what are they called? Transfers. Godspeed to her. I don't do a lot of transfers. I just like to pipe things directly on. I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't do a lot of volume. If you're doing a lot of volume, transfer is going to be really helpful. And then I added these white dots on this floaty to kind of give it more lifeguard floaty vibes. So yeah, that's my pool. We love the pool. Okay, this next one is the lime. Now, I did a lime, grapefruit, and a lemon. Questionable if these are actually 3 separate designs or not. I treat them as such, even though the execution is exactly the same, like the technique, it's just different colors. I just want to say sidebar. One of the first sets I ever made back in the day, like 2012 or something, I actually made a set of lime, lemon, and orange slices made with cookies that I purchased from the grocery store, and I cut them in half. They were not perfectly flat. It was not ideal, but we made it work. And anyway, just as a sidebar, especially if you're a beginner or even not a beginner, like it's a really cute, effective set. You could do an entire set of just lemon slices, lime, grapefruit, that's the pink one, and then add orange into it, and suddenly you have orange slices. So yeah, I'll talk more about the actual execution of this when we cover the lime and the grapefruit, because I think I've already talked enough, but I do want to talk about the colors. We're doing pink, green, yellow, blue, and white. It was really hard to come up with, or surprisingly hard, I should say, to come up with a simplified color palette for this summer theme, because Summer uses a surprising number of colors. I will just say that. And I'm pretty pleased with this. Pleased as punch. These are all fairly saturated colors. All of them are straight from the bottle. I think I might have added a little extra yellow to the green. I don't remember exactly. That's definitely in the workbook for the class. Because I feel like the leaf green that comes out of the bottle, like leaf green is the most traditional green that you'll find. And I feel like it tends to be a bit too blue for a lot of applications. So anyway, something I love to do in my beginner classes is I like to scrape the base instead of flood. This does for two reasons. One, it adds more variety and dimension for the actual design and the set. And then two, well, three, I guess. Two, it uses way less icing, and so it dries a lot faster, which is nice when you're doing a second layer on top. And then three, it just uses less icing. So if you're doing something like this with a very large second layer design, some people just don't like that much icing. So the key there with those yellow lines is we're going to let those crust over, and then we'll do a second layer on top. Since we're using a flood consistency, if we didn't let them crust over, they would kind of melt into each other instead of having separation. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. Here we go. They just need to crust for like 10 minutes, nothing crazy. But since I always use one consistency for my beginner classes. This is my thick flood. This is the way that you can do things like line work with one consistency. And then here I had to add the crackle. I thought the crackle was too good for this. You want to let that green icing dry for about 10 to 15 minutes. It depends on the consistency of your icing, how thick it is, and the environment that you are working in. I have to say that pineapple, I was a little nervous about doing. I thought it was going to be too hard to freehand, but I'm pleased as punch. This one here is not the grapefruit. This is what I'm calling the flowers one. And this one we're doing a tropical flower design that I've actually done in other classes before. Because there are two main ways to do wet on wet flowers, and this is one of them. And obviously had to bring in the tropical flower vibes for the beginner summer class. We love that. What's a little different about this though than other ways I've done it in other classes is we're actually using two colors. Now in hindsight, I probably could have also done these outer outlines in the different colors instead of doing it in white. I just like the pop of the white against the pink. You'll see that some of the other colors just don't pop as well. But, you know, you could try putting the blue on the outside instead. The key here is to make sure that you're doing your circles big enough, but not too big. And then you're really laying that extra color on the very edge of the white. And then take that scribe, pull from the outside of the white line. I always like to start at the beginning and end of my circle because that usually tends to look pretty messy. And I like to do 5 pulls, always cleaning your scribe off after every pull. And you want to bring that pull into the center of the flower, and that's it. Do not go any further than the center. As far as you pull is as far as the design is going to go, if that makes sense. So just keep that in mind. If you don't clean your scribe off after every pull, you're going to have icing on the end of your scribe, and then you'll be able to see it in the pink. Some people don't care. That's certainly easier because it takes more time to have to clean off your scribe after every pull, but I personally think it is well worth it to do it this way. And for this flower design, I do not add a dot in the middle like I do with the other wet on wet design. Just added some polka dots to like fill in the rest of the space, and that's it. She's a cutie patootie toot. This next one is the sun. Now, you could use an edible marker or your scribe to kind of draw out this sun, but y'all know me. I am a fly by the seat of my pants. I only outline stuff when it like really, really makes a difference. And in this case, clearly I decided it did not make a difference. So, I added these extra white dots just because I wanted like a little a little bit more variety dimension than just pure yellow across the board. Sorry, I got distracted. Right. I didn't get distracted. I just got mesmerized by my own cookie decorating, which happens every once in a while. So I apologize. That crusting, you want to let it crust over for about 10 to 20 minutes. The thinner the icing, the longer it'll take to crust. The more hot and humid your environment is, the longer it will take to crust. And then these are just triangles over and over again. If your inner circle is not perfectly circular, you have two choices. You can either make the triangles just extend to the shape of the circle, no matter the size of your inner circle, or you can make them all even and just not cover the whole cookie. I don't know if that explanation made any sense. I think either is fine. It's just your own preference. My circle was not perfect. Oh, this one is actually pretty good. Good job. Honestly, that center reminds me of an egg yolk, like a lazy scrambled eggs, but I think it's cute. Okay, this next one is the beach ball. Now, a lot of summer sets have beach balls. For this one, since we're doing a one consistency outline and flood, and this is a beginner class, I decided to simplify it a bit because most beach ball designs have 6 sections, but for this one, I decided to do 4. And normally the beach ball designs have like alternating color and white. And since we're just doing 4, we're just going to do, if I recall, yeah, they're all the sections are colors instead of white, which I think is a nice compromise if I do say so myself. I will admit that I think that even though we simplified it with 4 sections, it is a little bit harder to do without an outline. I've done a beach ball before, but a 2 consistency outline and flood. And when you can actually like outline the circle first, then outline all the sections, it makes connecting these sections a little bit easier. So this is the hardest part here, is getting kind of the full circle as best as possible. The key here is to use your scribe to encourage the icing into the corners like you saw me doing. So make the connection to make it as much of a circle as you can. And then flood it in. I just love the bright, fun colors from this set. It makes me so happy. So happy. So you see me using the scribe, get it in, well, I guess settle it out first, and then pull it in to the corner there. This is like next level, you know. You don't have to do that, but I think it makes it look better. Here, we put that dot in there. Just let it crust for like 10 minutes, not very long. This is going to help prevent craters and make this center dot extra puffy. There's the beach ball. I believe this is the lemon. Okay, so we're going to talk about great success with these slices. You can, by the way, also do these slices cut in half. Since these were all circles, I just made them full slices. So first things first, outline, flood. Do not go all the way to the edge. I mean, that's the case with all the designs, but I'm just saying that now. The best success, by the way, with a lemon slice is making sure that your white is your yellow is very saturated, and it is better to have white food coloring in the white because it's going to pop a lot more. And then for this rind, I don't know what this is, but whatever, the white line, you could just do one white line. I prefer to do two, especially in a full circle like this, because it just adds a thicker line, and I feel like makes it more pronounced of a design. So I always start my first pull where I start and end the circle, because again, it's always messy there. And then you're pulling from the outside, just like you did with the flowers, and you're pulling into the center. And the key is to pull into that center dot, and you want to mess it up, basically. Now you could leave this here. It does kind of give more flower vibes though. And then I like to add the seeds. Now for me, I don't have the patience to clean the scribe off. So I just, for the seeds, I don't clean my scribe off, and I think it looks fine. This one here, I'm just calling the drip. This could be ice cream drip. It could be milkshake drip. It could be even like popsicle drip, maybe even a melting cake. Just kidding. Oh, man. Okay. Right. So we're outlining and flooding with the white. Yeehaw. And then we're going to let that crust over for at least 30 minutes. I decided to go with a blue drip, but you could do pink. You could do whatever color makes you happy. I just thought the set could use a little bit more blue. And the key here with these drips is to not make them too close together. And you can see also I'm making the bottom of the drip a little bit fatter than the top of the drip. You really don't want to over flood here. In fact, like slightly under flood. Because we're going to add dots on top of this with wet on wet, which is just going to make it more likely to potentially over flood. And then these dots here are supposed to give sprinkle vibes. If you have actual sprinkles, go ahead, use sprinkles. I just didn't want to add sprinkles to this set, to this class set, just for this. When I'm putting together classes, I'm very, very intentional with the amount of colors, consistencies, extra stuff needed, and there wasn't a need for sprinkles for anything else. So here we are. Anyway. The way to make these sprinkly is to overlap some of them. You can see that I didn't make them like even polka dots. You want to overlap them a bit and then add a little drip on the bottom because y'all, it's the drip. Drip, drip, drip. Okay. Oh, man. All right. Last but certainly not least is the grapefruit. What else can I say about this? I do have some tips and tricks in the class workbooks about circles, doing like, because honestly, cutting out circle cookies can be a little challenging to actually get circles in the end, as opposed to like wonky circles. But honestly, I don't do them perfectly either. So what I always do when I'm approaching decorating a circle set is I will just pick, like, I will figure out which designs might even look better with a slightly wonky circle and which designs really need more of a circle. Like I would say these fruit slices look a lot better with a true circle. What's one that would, like the beach ball you could do slightly wonky as long as you position it the right way. Certainly the pineapple would look fine with a wonky circle. And when you have a wonky circle, you have two choices. You can either follow the shape of the cookie, or you can just like pipe a circle, whether it looks like a circle or not. Experiment with what, kind of works better for you. I tend to just go with the shape of the cookie, even if it's not perfect, because I don't like the extra, like I want even white space or even naked cookie around the icing, if that makes sense. But if it's really off, I mean, this is not a perfect circle. Look, I did not pipe a perfect circle and it still looks cute. So whatevs. I think the more important part is that the white maybe is slightly more circular. Anywho, that's the full set. Again, this is my beginner summer class. Go check out the link in the description if you want to check out the class. As always, I hope you loved watching this. I hope you learned a thing or two. I hope you will try making these cookies, especially this summer. These are great to bring to a barbecue, impress your family and friends. Again, like I said, just bring like the fruit slices. That is an amazing set. People will be so impressed because wet on wet is always so impressive looking. So anywho, thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks, y'all. Bye.